Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to the official start of a successful transition from monogamy to open. I launched the new private Facebook group by the same name, and we've had an amazing amount of people join it. It is just exploding. I am beyond happy and beyond belief. I can't believe it. So many people that I've invited have joined. People are inviting their friends, people they know, and it is just exploding. And I'm very, very happy and so in awe. So thank you. And in the last few days, I've realized something in that while I initially created this as a place for people who are not familiar with open relationships to have a way of talking about this and learning about this and being guided and help them learn all the things and help them avoid the mistakes that those of us who have done this and made this part of our life learned how to do the hard way. And I wanted to create something so that not everyone has to learn to do this the hard way. Because there's a little fact that I think a lot of people don't know is that there are a lot of people get into open relationships, but there's kind of like this time period that you have a lot of people who get in and they're there for 6 months, a year, 2, maybe 3 years. And if they don't get past that 3-year point, they tend to drop off and go back, partly because it's just not for them, partly because it's too hard. They run into too many problems and they don't know how to deal with them. And that's really what I created this for, was those people in that first 3-year period so that they had a way of seeing, is it really for them and can they get past the problems, or is it something that really isn't for them? Because relationships, like anything else, come in various sizes, and some people really are meant for monogamy. That really is the best relationship style for them. Other people do well with, I think it was Dan Savage who created the term monogamish, which basically means that a couple is basically monogamous, but they talk about and agree upon certain exceptions to that rule. But most of the time they live by monogamy. And then there's a wide range of ways that people design open relationships. And what I'm realizing is that the people who get past that 3-year part and this becomes a part of their life, relationships, whether you are in an open relationship and a monogamous relationships, they evolve over time. Any long-term relationship evolves and it ebbs and flows. And what is working really well at one point is not necessarily working well at another point, because there's all sorts of factors that play into that. There's the stress in our lives from work, from children, from family, from health issues as we grow older. There's all sorts of factors that can play into it. And it's sometimes we're very confident and sometimes we're just not. And that's part of life. And some people who have gotten through that initial phase of open relationships now start to feel like as their relationship ebbs and flows that, well, maybe they don't fit into that world anymore and maybe they have to go back to monogamy. And for some people that is the right choice, but for others it's not. And we don't really talk about what does that look like. How do we create those relationships for people who don't necessarily want to go back to strict monogamy, but maybe various factors in their lives are affecting where their relationship's at, how open they want it. So I'm realizing that this group needs to be for everyone, that this needs to be much more inclusive than just the people who are at those beginning phases of that 1 to 3 years. It also needs to be those of us who have been in this for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and our lives and our relationships are evolving. And where do we talk about that? There aren't any places really to talk about that. It's great if everything's fine and happy, but how do you talk about if you're stressed out and your normally high sex drive has dropped to virtually nothing and you're a swinger? Like, we don't talk about that because that's not supposed to happen. and yet it does. And none of us have any place to talk about it. And so I'm thinking that this group, if you saw the initial live from Friday and you're thinking, oh, this is just for people in the beginning, and I've been in this for 10, 15 years, this is not really for me. Let's make it for you. Let's make it for all of us. Let's make it whether you're just starting out or you're very experienced. Let's all have this discussion and this conversation of how do we do this. There are a lot of brilliant minds with great ideas who I know can contribute tremendously and are a treasure of information and ideas and knowledge. And I want all of us to make this a group that we can use and enjoy together. I'm going to, of course, start by trying to do a lot of these lives with more education for the people who are at the beginning. But I also want to have discussions within the group for those of us who are further along and need some help, need some information about where do we go from here. Even if this is something we've enjoyed and would like to continue, it may have to look different as we get older. So that's where I'm at today. I will be back on Wednesday and we will talk more about the various different types of open and how they look and start that kind of educational process for those beginning people. But let's also keep some discussions going in the group for those of us who are a bit more experienced, and share that with each other. And so feel free, if you are experienced and you thought, oh, well, this is really just a group for beginners, invite your friends who are more experienced. Have them come on too. Let's make this a group for everybody and we can all learn from each other. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye.